Welcome back to another edition of Baseball for Maniacs. Guys, today was the first full squad workout in Clearwater. Everyone that's on the roster was there today getting their work in. And based on the last couple of days of the first days of pitchers and catchers reporting to where Nick Castellanos was still on the roster, then he gets released the next day. Then yesterday with Bryce answering the questions for the first time since Dave Dombrowski's comments, I just felt like there was a weird negative air in the energy to where I wish Dave Dombrowski just released Castellanos earlier in the year to where the first few days of camp should just be happiness, getting back to playing Phil's baseball. Everyone realistically has a chance at winning a World Series. Not realistically, but you know what I mean. Everyone starts 0-0 to where I think today's the first day to where we just focus on baseball because that's the most important part. I'm sick and tired of hearing about last year. I'm sick and tired of hearing about clubhouse this, clubhouse that, and the media just trying to write their story to where I think we just need to focus on the team we have because in all reality, I don't think it was a good offseason. You guys don't think it was a good offseason, but it is what it is. Now it's time to take those 26 guys that's going to be on the roster and then the other minor league players that will be coming up and down helping the team and focus on the games being played. But I'll go through some quotes, some things that happened today, just kind of give you guys a rundown of what happened on the first full workout squad day. So Trey Turner came in and he spoke to the media and they asked him about the 2026 season, how confident he is in this ball club being able to win a World Series. He said, I feel like we have the pieces. I know it's not necessarily the new toy, kind of relaying back to not really any major additions, kind of running it back. We are more than capable of winning the whole thing. We just have to execute at the end of the year. We just have to put ourselves in another good spot like we did last year and come out on top. I mean, 100%, right? Because, of course, the Phillies 2026 season will be judged on what they do in October. They have set that standard by going to the playoffs 4 straight years and coming up short. But you have to get there first. And I full-heartedly believe that the Phillies will make the playoffs, but it's not a guarantee. If there's injuries, if players underperform, if players start to regress, then there's a real chance that the Phillies don't make the playoffs. I think it's like 80-20, 80% they are going to make the playoffs. But you can't win a World Series in February. Can't win a World Series in March. You can lay the building blocks to get there to where everything that happens in spring training, everything that happens in the regular season matters towards the goal. But you can't look ahead too much. You got to focus on your craft. You have to focus on the drills you're doing today, the batting practice, the live at bats, to where I really like Trey Turner's quotes. And Trey Turner speaks to the media very well, in my opinion. He's a professional. He's a veteran. He never really stirs the pot. He just gets in there, he works, and he does his best to contribute to the Philadelphia Phillies. And I'm very excited for Trey Turner's 2026 season. He's coming off his best season as a Philly. I think he's more than comfortable in this city. Of course, myself included, we would like to see him show up a little bit more in the playoffs. Last year and in 2024, that didn't happen. 23 had a good postseason, but towards the end against the Diamondbacks, he kind of faltered, just like everyone else. But I'm very excited for Trey Turner and his 2026 season because he's still, no doubt, one of the best shortstops in Major League Baseball. They also asked him about the WBC. And he said he never received the phone call and he would have loved to play with them this year. But unfortunately, he didn't receive the phone call. He wished everyone the best of luck. Kyle, Bryce, Brad Keller, the Phillies competing, Edmundo Sosa, Christopher Sanchez, all competing for other countries. I mean, the USA roster stacked, in my opinion, to where I would have assumed he probably should have gotten it over Bryce Terang, in my humble opinion. But this team is so good, and I don't think he has any ill will. I mean, he knows all those guys. He's going to be pulling for them. But I thought that was just an interesting note from today's press conference with Trey Turner and Rob Thompson. So, you know what's funny? I'm waiting for the annual spring training conference where Rob addresses the media and Dave Dombrowski has his press conference. It hasn't happened yet, which is a little weird in my opinion. Maybe it's going to happen tomorrow, maybe in a few days. Maybe it's already scheduled and I'm just unaware. But in my opinion, I think Dave has to fix some things, really get his crap in line before he talks to the media because the way he handled the end of year press conference was absolutely terrible. Very shocking because the one thing about Dave Dombrowski is he does do press conferences very well. He does give that typical GM speak, and he didn't do that at the end of your press conference. So to where I think the PR team needs to get with him immediately because when he does eventually have that press conference, man, they're going to be asking him the questions. They're going to be asking him about Bryce Harper's reaction when he first came in yesterday and spoke to the media. They're going to be asking him about the whole running it back, this, that, and the third. The Philadelphia media is just going to try to get clicks for their stories. And that's their job, so you can't really blame them. I'm just saying Dave Dombrowski needs to be ready for that because he clearly wasn't at the end of your press conference. Rob Thompson says about Zach Wheeler. So Zach Wheeler threw from 120 feet today, increasing from 90 feet. The Phillies are still not sure when Zach will throw off a mound. And the thing Zach Wheeler said, I like to let the emotion out when I play. So essentially, there's steps in Zach Wheeler's recovery, right? You got to go from 60 feet, you got to throw from 90 feet, you got to go from 120 feet, then obviously get on a mound, then pitch in exhibition games, then you should be ready for the season. In my opinion, it's a great sign. I saw the video of him throwing. It looks like Zach Wheeler, but of course, we won't know until he gets on a big league mound. And I just don't want them rushing Zach Wheeler in any sense. If he doesn't come back till May or even mid-May, that's completely fine. I think we have enough in the starting rotation to get us there. And the most important part about Zach Wheeler coming back is that he's Zach Wheeler if we're going to have any chance at winning a World Series. So take your time. If he even struggles the first few months, if he's ready by October, that is going to be the most beneficial thing because how I think you got to beat the Dodgers is with great starting pitching. Of course, the bats have to show up because we did have good starting pitching last year in the playoffs and we still lost. But if you have Zach Wheeler being Zach Wheeler, followed by Christopher Sanchez, Jesus Luzardo, Andrew Painter, if he turns out to be the prospect we all think he is, you have a puncher's chance. And then if the lineup decides to get hot for some reason, of course, they can't decide that. They're just going to try and do their best, whatever. You have a real chance to win a World Series. All this doom and gloom, I get it. I think the offseason was terrible, but I'm not ignorant in the sense to where I don't think there's any chance we can win a World Series. I think it's pretty minimal because I do think the Dodgers are that much better than us. But like I said, once you get into October, man, anything can happen. And then this is from John Clark from NBC Sports Philadelphia. New Phillies right fielder Adolis Garcia today says he loves the environment of Philly and CBP and loves to play an aggressive brand of baseball. So everyone knows my thoughts in the sense of when we first got Adolis Garcia, I was excited by the move and I still am. I was under the notion that we were going to bring Bader back and then Justin Crawford would play left. That didn't happen. And I saw a video yesterday of Harrison Bader with the San Francisco Giants in his first day of practice. That hurt. That hurt. He's just so Philly, man. But I've talked enough about Harrison Bader and wanting him back. That didn't happen. But still with Adolis Garcia, the talk around Philadelphia is there's too many white guys in the lineup. There's too many white guys on the roster. There's no flair. There's no culture. And I completely agree. We are taking steps in the right direction by signing Adolis Garcia. Now it's just going to be his production level because if he's any resemblance of his 2023 form with the Texas Rangers, where he led them to the World Series and winning it, man, you're going to get a steal for $10 million because he plays great defense. That's the one thing where you're replacing with Nick Castellanos. You're replacing Nick Castellanos with a gold glove defensive right fielder with a cannon, and we haven't had that in a long time. So I think what he has to do is cut down on the strikeouts a little bit. He's going to hit the ball hard. He's going to hit some moonshots, but he's only going to bat you 230, 240 to where if he's batting 6th or 7th in your lineup, not bad. But the floor is super high in the sense with his defense. So I'm excited for Adolis Garcia. I think it's a good 1-year shot like deal. Like the Max Kepler signing to me was you rely too much on the analytics to where everyone says he hit the ball hard, but if they're outs, they're outs. I just think Adolis Garcia brings not only a flair with the culture, kind of something different in Philadelphia, but the power sense to where he always has a real shot of sending a ball to the moon that the four-hitter Alec Boehm hasn't had. And I'll get into what Rob Thompson thinks about the four-hitter, what my opinion on who should be hitting fourth. Spoiler alert, it's Adolis Garcia just because of that power. But I'm super excited to see what Adolis Garcia brings to Philadelphia. And they posted a picture yesterday. Dude is freaking jacked. My God. Like, I'm very excited for Adolis Garcia, if you can already tell. And then Rob Thompson spoke on Alec Boehm. Rob Thompson says he likes him in the cleanup spot because he puts the ball in play. He's a 284 hitter in his career with runners in scoring position with 2 outs. So I don't agree with what Rob Thompson said, but I'm not upset that he made the comment. Because the thing about Rob Thompson is what else is he going to say? Because You have to ride for your guys. This is the roster he was given. I think Alec Bohm is your prototypical sixth or seventh hitter. I've said my opinion on Alec Bohm so many times to where I don't think it's his fault. I think he's put in a position that is not contributing to him succeeding because he's not a four hitter. He just simply isn't, because at his best, he's going to hit a single or a double in the gap. You need someone in the four spot that has a threat to send one over the moon. That's not what Alec Bohm is. Now, I think he's going to be the four hitter on opening day just based on what Rob Thompson has done in the past. But I would just rock with Adolis Garcia because it's like, at least switch something up. And if he struggles in April and May, you can always revert back to Alec Bohm, which is probably what they're going to do. But I think Harper's going to bat 2 and Schwarber's going to bat 3. And the 4 hole is still going to be a black hole. Maybe they trade for someone at the deadline. That's wishful thinking based on Dave Dombrowski's past history. Not good trade deadlines. Had a good 2025 trade deadline, but whatever. To where I just think him in the 4 hole with the threat of sending one to the moon, to where I think Schwarber would get more pitches to hit compared to if Alec Bohm was in the 4 spot or Harper. But I do think they're going to go Harper Schwarber instead of Schwarber Harper for the 26 season, at least to start. And then so basically today, a bunch of Phillies took live BP, Schwarber, Harper, Adolis Garcia. Harper and Schwarber, I feel like, are going to ramp up a little bit more just because they do have to get ready for live action in the WBC, because that's coming up super soon. And I'm so excited for that. I said my thoughts about our pitchers going to pitch in the WBC, like Christopher Sanchez and Aaron Nola, even Brad Keller. I don't like when pitchers go because I don't think they're going to be ready, in a sense, to be pitching competitive innings in March. But nevertheless, it is what it is. I'm never going to fault someone for wanting to go pitch for their country in one of the best tournaments in baseball and how it grows the game. Hitters, I think it's completely different. Go out there, go play your best baseball. Seeing Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber on the big stage, like, I'm super excited, especially in the sense of Bryce Harper, because we weren't able to see that in 23 just because he was recovering from Tommy John, which made him unavailable for the tournament. I think this is going to bring out a side of Bryce Harper to where it could get him back to his 22, 23 form. Because even on that interview when he was talking about the Phillies, he was very excited about the WBC, but his tone kind of changed when he was talking about the Phillies. And I don't know if that's just him being upset with Dave Dombrowski or just like the state of the organization. There's a weird vibe with Bryce, but I feel like once he gets on that field in the WBC and just plays for his country, get those emotions flowing, he's going to bring that to Philadelphia for opening day. And I think it's going to lead to him having a quote unquote elite season. What a crazy comment by Dave Dombrowski. And then my next point, I saw Justin Crawford. He was hitting with Charlie Manuel. Charlie Manuel's always there as a special advisor coach for spring training. He's been doing it for, I think, the last 10 years or whatever. But I think that was really cool because Charlie Manuel knows baseball. I mean, he knows hitting. To where he can only help Justin Crawford. And it's kind of like a full circle moment to where he was working with Shane Victorino back in the day. You know, the players we love, Utley, Howard, Rollins, and he's still in the organization trying to help the Philadelphia Phillies win a World Series. And I think it's going to be very beneficial for Justin Crawford. Continuing with the point on Justin Crawford, Tim Kelly on Pattison asked him about his ground ball rate because that's the main thing about Justin Crawford. Can his success from the minor leagues translate to the major leagues, because he does hit the ball very frequently on the ground? Justin Crawford said, when asked about his ground ball rate, he states that growing up, he was raised to hit the ball on the ground given his speed, but also states that his main goal is to hit the ball hard, whether that's in the air or on the ground. And my thoughts are, don't change, because I only think players at the big league level should change if they're not successful there. Justin Crawford has been successful at every level he's come across. A-ball, AA, AAA, this, that, and the third, to where it doesn't make sense to change it now. Now, if he's, excuse me. But in my opinion, I think Justin Crawford should be who he is. Now, if he does struggle in the major leagues, then that's when we make an adjustment. Then maybe we send him down for a few weeks. Maybe next offseason he works on certain things, but don't break something that isn't broken just yet. And the thing about Justin Crawford with the ground ball rate, we kind of need that in our lineup. We don't need guys trying to hit moonshots or swinging and missing plate discipline, chasing, because that's been our problem in the playoffs, to where if Justin Crawford's batting 9 for you, right, and he's hitting the ball hard, he's putting the ball in play, and he can turn over the lineup for the Turners, the Harpers, the Schwarbers, to where they can see pitches to hit, I think that's going to help out this lineup tremendously. I'm super excited for Justin Crawford. I think he's going to play fine center field. Now, me personally, I probably would prefer him in left field, but Bader's not back, so he's going to play center field. But I think he can do it with his speeds. He's been working with the outfielders, or the coaches in the outfield, working on getting better reads. But I'm super excited for Justin Crawford, and my expectations for him are not going to be super high because he's a rookie. He's not going to save the day. But if he can bat you 280, 290, play decent enough defense, batting 9 for you on a championship team, absolutely sign me up. I'm getting giddy just talking about Justin Crawford. He's one of my favorite players that we're going to be watching in the 2026 season. And then I also saw a video on Johan Rojas. He was taking drills with Justin Crawford. They were laughing, having a good time. For those of you guys who know me, I love Johan Rojas. He was one of my favorite prospects growing up. Loved his 2023 where he hit over 300 and played Gold Glove defense. Of course, it didn't work out. Personally, I don't think Johan Rojas will ever be able to succeed with the bat at the major league level. But where does he fit with this 2026 roster? I mean, most likely he's going to be in AAA. He has one more option to where they could use that option. But if there's an injury, I think he is valuable to a big league club with his defensive glove. He would have made the playoff roster last year, but he had a quad injury, to where he would have probably been pinch running for Nick Castellanos in that inevitable bunt situation. But obviously he was injured, so that didn't happen. But I think as a fourth outfielder, what he brings on the defensive side of the baseball, I think he can still contribute to the Philadelphia Phillies. But the thoughts of him being the everyday center fielder are sadly gone. So that's pretty much all that happened today on the first full workout day for the Philadelphia Phillies. My overall thoughts on the camp are kind of mixed because the way it started out, kind of doom and gloom in my opinion. The Nick Castellanos situation, the Bryce Harper talking about the comments, and he had to speak about it because he was asked. This was his first time speaking to the media. It just felt weird, like the vibe, to where I just need them to start playing some games, start hitting some homers, start having fun again, because this team is still very good. And I really do fear that the whole vibe is kind of just like, we had our shot and we missed it. And I hope that's not the case, because I want these guys to realize they're still one of the best teams in Major League Baseball. If they get into the playoffs, which I think they will, they could still win the World Series. We had a great starting rotation. I still think we need to get one more guy for starting pitching depth. The bullpen is fantastic. Johan Duran, Brad Keller, Orion Kirkring, Jose Alvarado if he gets back to his 2022, 2023 form. The pitching is there. The hitting, they've always been a good regular season hitting team. Of course, the story is about the postseason. But if you get hot, you get hot, man, to where I'm very excited for this season. I hope the vibe kind of switches a little bit to where the media stops harping on 2025 so much and just focuses on, let's just see how this plays out. Let's just enjoy Phillies baseball from now until October. When October happens, we're going to be watching. We're going to be stressed the hell out. We're going to be wondering, can they do it? And we're just going to have to see if they can do it, because that's baseball, man. But that's going to do it for this episode of Baseball for Maniacs. Super excited about the season. Let me know what you guys think about Phillies spring training starting, your thoughts on Bryce Harper, your thoughts on the WBC, just everything around the Phils. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And you guys have a good one, and go Phils.